was going to shoot an unboxing, but I think I got a little mess I got to clean up first. So, cue the music. CPU cooler. This happens to be, in my opinion, one of the best coolers you can get for the price. You can find them new roughly between $25 to $29 range, and you can actually even pick them up used for $15 to $20 range. I'm actually going to put this one into my workstation computer because it has the stock OEM one, and I like to overclock. So this is going to be the review, overview, and add-on to my custom build. This right now is my current setup. As you can tell, it's nothing like too elaborate, nothing really to write home about, but it's not too bad. I got a little cheap graphics card in there just to have onboard graphics, or well, not onboard, but just to have a graphic card. I am going to put a better one in there as time goes by. I do have 8 gigs of Corsair Vengeance RAM. Don't need it, but I got it anyhow. And of course, there's that little teeny tiny AMD cooler sitting on top of a FX 4100, which is a quad core, in case y'all don't know. Like I said, it's nothing too elaborate. This is actually just a workstation. I will be doing some overclocking just because I can. The motherboard supports a little bit of overclocking. I might do some gaming with this computer because, well, you know, I could just get bored at work. You know, we don't stay busy all the time, so just want to be able to have the option. Of course, I'm not going to be gaming with that graphics card by any means, but as soon as I come across one, I'm going to slap one in here and call it a day. Now inside this case, which I've already opened, this actually is, technically it's a used setup. This one we had at the shop, but we're not currently using it, so I decided that I'm going to use it. So there's the back plate that goes behind the motherboard. There's the mounting hardware. There's the clamp. That is a factory clamp, don't confuse it. And here is the cooler itself. It's got the nice little fan on there. Got the heat pipes. As you can see, it's still got thermal paste on it. I gotta clean that off. And this is a simple design, but extremely effective. I've used these on 8 cores. Not the one I have in my gaming rig, but we use them on the what is it, the 8350s, I believe, and they work just fine. They work almost any AM or Intel, because Intel don't run as hot as AMD, especially when you overclock them, but they can't get up there. But this is essentially what all you get. Of course, with the original, you do get instructions and whatnot, but we're techs. We don't need instructions. We know how to do this. Or we say we do, and then we want to look up the instructions online. Sorry for the focus. I had the autofocus off. So, now comes the fun part. I don't know if I got to take my motherboard off. I got to pull my back panel off to see. I might have to take the motherboard out of the computer. Depends on if I can get to the back plate or not. So, let's see. And this is what I was hoping to see. As you can see, I can actually access my back plate fairly simple. And there's a big enough cutout. Let me pull this up a little bit more so you can see my back panel. Sorry about the focus. So I'm going to focus this in a little bit. There you go. Now the cable management, go ahead and laugh at me all you want to. I don't care. This case is not a customer build. This is mine. And I know I was going to be making a lot of changes to it, so I wasn't too much worried about it. But the thing I'm thrilled about right now is that back plate. This just made my job a lot easier because now I don't got to take the motherboard out and everything, which I am completely thrilled over. Just wanted to show you real quick. I removed the the cooler, and if you can see, I should be able to see. Sorry, my lighting is horrible. But there's hardly any thermal paste on the CPU itself, and that's what we had on the heatsink. Hardly anything at all. The thermal paste is just basically dried up and brittled. I'm actually surprised it was even cooling. One thing that I did do is I actually took the exhaust fan that was here and I moved it up to the top. The reason why is the way the CPU is going to be mounted, or the heatsink is going to be mounted here, blowing air up this way. And if it's blowing air this way and this fan's trying to suck it out this way, it's not going to work. So I redecorated that for mainly for the CPU. You'll see once I'm through. Now all I need to do is apply a little bit of thermal paste, and you don't need much, just a little bit. But that much will do. Believe it or not, that stuff will spread out and coat real well. And of course, you don't want to put too much because then you just have a big old globby mess. Thankfully, we use non-metallic thermal paste, so that way, in case anything does hit the metal connector, the little diodes, resistors, any of that stuff, it won't hurt a single bit of it. Now, on GPU, you definitely want to use a lot of thermal paste. Definitely a lot. Now we're going to run Cinebench, and we're going to see how the CPU does. Now, I know it's not going to be real fast because it's only a quad core. So as you can see, it's only doing 4 at a time. The thing I'm doing here is I'm actually stressing out the processor because I want to see how hot it's going to get. And as you can see, the temperatures are staying fairly cold. Well, you might not can't see it, but let me unmount the camera and I'll get you closer so you can see. Alright. As you can see right now, we're at 28 degrees Celsius. That is our current temperature. The lowest is 80 degrees. I don't think it got that cold. Maybe on startup. I just don't see it getting that cold. But right now, it's not getting really hot. Oh yeah, and you can see CPU usage is 100%. So Cinebench is maxing it out, and yet at the same time, the heatsink is keeping it cool. That is 3.6. My Cinebench score is 260. Wow. On my gaming PC, my Cinebench score is 718. I think 718, 719. Somewhere around there. This processor did beat out a i5 3317U. So that's something. That's something. Although the mobile versions are, the i7 mobiles are faster than this, so like I said, it's not something I bought I didn't buy it. It's not something I got to be extremely fast or anything like that. It's going to be primarily a workstation that will be doing some gaming. So, final product. As you see, it barely fits in there. I actually had to move the RAM over a slot. If I had like regular small RAM, it probably would have worked. But that's going to be one of the biggest things when actually having a big cooling tower like this one is your RAM clearance. You need to make sure that you're going to have the RAM clearance. But right now it functions. It pulls air in here, blows it out here, while this fan pulls out air and straight up the top. And of course I got 2 fans blowing in here. So I got plenty to keep my graphics card and my power supply clean. And the power supply is actually pulling its own air from up under it. So all in all, I would say this is a pretty efficient build. It's definitely a cheap build. And the next thing I'm going to add to it, like I said, will be the graphics card. Definitely want a different graphics card. And I know you're probably looking at it like, you have the Cooler Master upside down. You could have flipped that over and put it with the Cooler Master right side up. I could have. I noticed that after I installed it. But once again, it's a workstation computer. So I'm not going to be too much worried about it. It's going to be sitting in the office. Just sitting there. The cases or the cover is going to be on it. No biggie. So I hope you enjoyed.